Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I welcome you to the program Blessings of Islam. Today we'll discuss the power of Salah and how it helps you build inner strength. We read in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Ju'ilat qurratu aini fi salah," that this salah or prayer is the comfort of my eyes. Now, how beautiful this thing is that you are offering salah and you know that this is the comfort of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's eyes. It means that this salah or prayer was so much dear to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because this is something. At one end, it is of course something that is obligatory for every believer, but with that, it shows your love for Allah Almighty. It helps you become close to Allah Almighty, and that ultimately helps you build an inner strength. This is the power of love for Allah Almighty. This empowers you. And we read in hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was distressed by anything, he would offer salah. It means that whenever you face any challenge in your life, any sort of difficulty in your life, this is a sign of a believer. Being a believer, you should prostrate, you should perform sajda, you should bow down for the sake of Allah Almighty, you should ask help from Allah Almighty, and this is something that we have been asked in the Holy Quran to do so. We have been asked in the Holy Quran to seek help through patience and salah. So the patience, that is called sabr, and salah, that is offering prayer, these are the things that help you get blessings of Allah Almighty. And this helps you increase your love for Allah Almighty in your heart. And this is the power of a believer. The believer is able to face the challenges of life in different ways, maybe in the form of losing someone. For example, you have a very close person in your life, like your father, your mother, or other relations. If you lose them in your life, so at that time, in sort of that stress, only love for Allah Almighty is there, and your relationship with Allah Almighty is there, that will give you patience at that time. And this is also one of the signs of a believer, that believers are sabireen. These are the people who have patience in their life. And now we can understand that this patience and this, the Prophet's comfort of eyes, as he said that salah and performing prayer is the comfort of my eyes, you can understand that this will ultimately giving you power and inner strength. And this inner strength is required to meet with the challenges of human life, because human life is a very complex phenomenon. This is not something a simplified phenomena. No, not at all. This is a complex phenomena. It is filled with various challenges, with various dynamics. So you are able to face all these things if you have some inner strength. So this salah, this prayer empowers you. This gives you inner strength to face the things. And this also gives an indication to the entire world that this man believes in Allah Almighty, because only for the sake of willingness of Allah Almighty, for the pleasure of Allah Almighty, he is performing prayer. And as a result, if we just reflect on the act of worship, that is salah, if we find that Allah Almighty is not in need of any sort of worship, that Allah Almighty is not in need of these things, but this worship is ultimately giving us a benefit. So this is beneficial for us. So when you act upon the teachings of Islam, you ultimately provide benefit to yourself and the society, because these acts of worship and all these teachings of Islam make society beautiful. If we want to make our society and a society that should grow, that should be a caring society, and if we want to have these elements and these characteristics of a society, then of course we practice Islam, and we'll see the changes in the society. In different experiences of our life, we see that we might not be happy with many people who are around us, right? We are not happy with their attitude, with their behavior. But believe me that if you are practicing Islam, and for example, you offer salah with all its requirements, and you are offering salah with full concentration, you are developing deep love for Allah Almighty, then you will see that people like you will become a source of beauty for the entire society. And this is the thing that Islam makes life beautiful, because you start thinking about others, you start caring about others, and the one who believes in Allah Almighty, he will be a helping hand for others. So that is why we say that wherever believers are there, if they are truly following the faith, the teachings of Islam, then they will be a symbol of hope for others. So Salah empowers you, it gives you inner strength, it helps you face the challenges of your life. But the requirement is that you should be acting upon this teaching of Islam, and should be offering Salah with all its requirements. That is, of course, to concentrate during Salah, to think about the blessings of Allah Almighty, and wherever you face any sort of problem, just perform sajda at that time, at that specific moment, because sajda is something, in that specific condition, you are very close to Allah Almighty. So inshallah, we will discuss other aspects of the power of Salah in our next episodes.